All right. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. And as you can see, I am not Bob. I am Hadi Shiknia over at the Main Library Youth Services over at the Teen Studio. And we will be going over a few articles, some fun, some a little bit serious, and then get you out of here within 20 minutes or less, much faster than a pizza delivery. My guest is Aaliyah. She is apparently having technical issues, but she'll get on as soon as she can. Until then, we're just going to go over some different articles, starting to share right now, share screen. And sharing screen right now. And here we go. The first article we were going to talk about, since the new Superman movie is coming out this weekend, we would like to know how long would it take Superman to travel from Krypton to Earth? And now, normally it's they found out that the star is 42 light years away, the one that they designated, thanks to Neil deGrasse Tyson. And while Superman may be a work of pulp fiction, the astronomers identified in space and where the home planet could possibly be, where they found a red dwarf. Now, his origin, of course, talks about how, it's a epic poem, Epic of Gilgamesh in many versions throughout history. The modern myth that is currently being retold by James Gunn's movie is kind of the same person, an alien coming from a planet several light years away, again, 42 light years away. In 2012, Neil deGrasse Tyson managed to locate a star that was similar conditions to Krypton, and it was designated LHS 2520, which is 41.9 light years from Earth, which is roughly 42. We just rounded it up. Now, what was it? Going to light speed is not quite possible. So they were trying to figure out how long it would take for Kal-El, aka Clark Kent and Superman, to get to Earth. And going by even some of the fastest craft that we have here, which is even just a mirror of, or was it just a fraction of what light speed can go to, which is right now 25,000 miles per hour, which is, even though it's 30 times faster than a speeding bullet, it's still only not as fast as the speed of light, which is 670 million miles per hour. So that's around 0.0037% of the speed of light. So if we went even by our fastest human craft, it would take 1.14 million years to reach Krypton. But what they managed, based off of the technology of Krypton and, from the comics, they judged it. If Krypton exploded in a supernova, it would take roughly 420 years from the debris to reach Earth. Now, if again, part of the story had Superman arriving on Earth at the same time as all this debris field came in from Krypton. So it was estimated that he's by the time the movie comes out, he's right now around 453 years old. Looks good for that age. Yep. And then, so chronologically, he's 453 years old while still being biologically in his 30s. Well, how would you like to have a robot perform medical procedures on you? Well, one of the issues with healthcare is with so many with shortages around not only this country but other countries, doctors getting burnt out, surgical procedures taking so much time, especially with complicated ones. One of the things that have been proposed has been human surgical robots to do some of the easier tasks. So, for example, Michael Yip made a proposal in the July piece of Science Robotics about training data used by industrial robots that could be made useful for training robots where we're performing medical procedures. Now, some of the advantages used by the AI, like teaching it. So some things like, whereas nurses would, hand off instruments, those robots can do while maintaining a sterile background or a sterile environment. Then you have, robots who could perhaps assist with ultrasound probes, or even, some of the stuff like assistance with critical and currently other tasks that surgeons or nurses that normally can do. If those robots can do those, maybe now the robot or, those human surgeons and nurses can instead be assisting in other procedures. So this is one of the stuff that, that's not only low risk, it's can be commonly done, less time consuming, and, helps, with what would be otherwise physically draining tasks. So what was proposed is something that's highly beneficial, that while the robots are not quite ready for like anything complicated, it's like some of the easier, more simple tasks they can do to assist our human counterparts. That is something I was very excited about. And the next one, I don't know about you, but whenever people say like, wow, like time is just, we're just like losing time, it's like days are getting shorter, it's just, they may be onto something. So apparently there's a phenomenon with the Earth's rotation that is spinning unusually fast, and an upcoming Wednesday may be the shortest day on record. Now, what are we talking about with the shortest day? It's probably the shortest day in terms of milliseconds. Those 2 days were possibly both Wednesday, July 22nd, or August 5th, when those days are the farthest the Earth is from the moon. Now, they don't know quite the reason why the Earth's rotation is doing this, but according to Time and Date, a website that tracks time and time zones, the current record holder for the shortest day of the year was last year, July 5th, right after Independence Day, 2024, where we were 1.66 milliseconds shorter than 24 hours. And each year since 2020, we've been getting a new shorter day on record by just barely with milliseconds. It has something to do with the Earth's spin being faster and the orbit being significantly being more north relative to the equator. While some events like earthquakes have been known to impact the Earth's speed, right now they just don't know quite the reason why, the cause of acceleration they are seeing. This is all coming from the BBC. So we had an expert on Earth's rotation from the Moscow Institute of Electronics, Leonid Zotov. He told Time and Date that most scientists believe the cause may be something from the ocean and atmospheric models that do not account for the leap in speed. I just hope this doesn't take away too much from my sleep. Next, we're going to accept all cookies. Then we have a new visitor to our solar system. What is it quite? It is a comet-like body that is going through our solar system. It's called 31/Atlas, or C/2025 N1, which is zipping past Jupiter. Now, this object is not from this solar system, which makes it a big deal. And it's the third interstellar object that has ever been spotted in our solar system. Through many other have probably, though these are the only ones that we have spotted. There's been probably countless others that have been not noticed. And also remember, we don't, years ago, we have not had the same amount of instruments we had for tracking like celestial objects. So, as I said before, the official name is 31-Atlas or C-2025N1. On Wednesday morning, the record-setting speed was set by this interstellar traveler, is traveling alongside a curve. Not while it's not a closed loop, they do confirm the origins are outside of our solar system. And it'll go right by our sun without being captured by the gravity. Now, this is a comet-like object. While most of these comets and other asteroids, again, other celestial objects, were detected in the solar system, originated from our solar system, there have been two other objects, as said before. One was spotted in 2017, and another comet seen in 2019 had been acknowledged to be interstellar in origin. The new object, though, they're theorizing may be older than the previous two. And so the current object that was spotted was seen just July 1st by a telescope in Chile as part of the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, hence the name ATLAS, which is funded by NASA. Project based at the University of Hawaii in Manoa. And when ATLAS co-manager Larry, as an astronomer at University of Hawaii, he submitted this. It looked like a completely garden variety object, but as other astronomers did notice, it was anything but common. So when they went over the data, they were looking through all these past pictures. We have a huge treasure trove of such items. They were like, we have not seen this before. And as quote, at this point, it really hits you. This little button push you did the night before has created a frenzy. And now you have hundreds of astronomers and millions of interested people paying attention to it, says Denau. So it's one of those things that is very interesting. We're hoping that we could track the whereabouts from the origin. Maybe it will take a while. We'll find out as new information comes. Speaking of which, since we're on the subject of space, so there's evidence to the theory that Earth is trapped in a giant cosmic void. And they say that the celestial mass around our galaxy is not as dense as other galaxies or other parts of our universe are. And this could, like, as it said, rewrite cosmology. So when they were like looking at so what they have is some evidence that our Earth and the Milky Way galaxy, we might be suspended in a giant void that might be messing with our visions of like what we see in the cosmos. Now, this radical proposal was after all sorts of looking at the echoes of the Big Bang. We may be floating in a 2 billion light year region that's 20% less dense than average. And if everything does hold up, we can know the true age of our universe and offer some solutions, maybe, slowly put into pieces like what our origins are. And so they called this discrepancy the Hubble tension, which is that distant universe expanded more slowly in the past than the nearby universe does today. So, over the past decade, the cosmology has been embroiled in a growing crisis of observations. You know, first used or first observed through the Hubble telescope, hence the name Hubble constant, and then later on when we're using the James Webb Space Telescope, more and more there's been the theory that this universe is expanding, a little bit different, maybe faster in some places, slower in other places. It really does depend where astronomers look. And the two methods that they've been using, one was the Hubble constant, and that one, it's just going over the fluctuations, checking out the background, trying to go through some of the first light that, was produced up to 380,000 years after the Big Bang, which is just like compared to like the universe is just like a snap of our fingers, like a brief moment in time. What they thought was everything was going at the rate of 67 kilometers per second expanse. Actually, per megaparsec. Let me just correct myself there. So that was some of the stuff that was part of the standard model of cosmology. But the second method was measuring closer distances with pulsing stars called Cepheid variables, which was the Hubble constant of 73.2 megaparsecs. This discrepancy, while not like really large enough, had some astronomers thinking, let's rewrite the model, let's toss out like dark energy, dark matter, let's come up with something different. And they thought the anomaly can be a cosmic background, and this is where they were like, let's just do some new research. As a potential solution, this galaxy is close to the center of a large this galaxy that we're in, the Milky Way galaxy, is part of a large local void, as author Mr. Bannock, an astronomer at the University of Portsmouth in the UK, said in a statement. It would cause matter to be pulled by gravity towards the higher density exterior of the void, leading to the void becoming emptier with time. And that would make the void, or our local expansion here, faster than it is denser. Yep. Oh, hi. Welcome. We were just going over the slower expansion, how our galaxy is in a void. Yep. So one of the things we were talking about is, the notion of like part of our universe can be less dense in other parts of the universe. Right. That's why it's probably there's fewer galaxies found in our local area compared to the other parts of the universe.
Okay.
Yeah. But say hello, Aaliyah.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Yep, it's all good. Yeah. But let's go ahead and just wrap this up. We do have one more article, the Arizona fossils. Again, with one of the other movies we were talking about was, or one of the movies that's out right now is Jurassic World Rebirth. You could read that in the show notes, how some of the Arizona fossils reveal an ecosystem, way early in the age of dinosaurs. We're talking about the Triassic era, hundreds of millions of years. It's a really good read. Aaliyah, I know you just got here. Can you tell us anything about what's the creation station's got going on?
So essentially we have, at least for this upcoming Saturday, we have a VR event where we'll be demonstrating a bit of our VR headsets to use. So
okay, that's really good. And I know some of the VR stuff is really amazing.
Yes.
And available all free if you come down to the creation station.
Exactly.
Here in the Teen Studio, we have some of our programs. our usual gaming on every other Monday. And yesterday we did have teen crafts. And then finally, we do have some other programs down on our second floor, some that are coming up. Actually, next week, Thursday, the Panthers are coming here to Main Library.
Ooh.
All right. Thank you very much. I know it was very brief, but technical difficulties can't help with that.
Sure.
But we'll see you all later next week when Bob returns.
Bye-bye.
Bye.